City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Special beyond special.
Best player in the Premier League.
Captain Marvel. Drogba! Rooney! Oh, wonderful! That is one Derby diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. This is episode 4. I'm Dylan, alongside Mila and Grant, as always. This episode, we're going to do a little match week 3 breakdown of Chelsea, Man City, and then United, unfortunately. And then we're going to go into ranking our tier list of every team's transfers from the summer window. But I think we should just jump into it with Chelsea, seeming that was the least important game of the window.
Not too much to talk about. I think it is interesting contrast from last week. Obviously, going into halftime, I was like, "Oh, this is a brilliant performance." You know, we're only up 1. We can use a few extra. We probably should have been up 2 or 3, I'd say. But it was a great first half performance. Had no real complaints and was looking forward to just kind of seeing out the game. Felt very comfortable. And then out of nothing, they score wonder goal from Eze, great strike. But then obviously it's like, oh, it's against my team, sick. And it kind of felt like last year in terms of we concede that goal and just we lose the steam. And yeah, never really got it again. Missed chances. That's the name of the game with Chelsea for the past few years now. But I liked what I saw. I'm not going to get too worried about it. I thought our build-up structure was very interesting. If any of you caught some of the game. He was dropping Caicedo in next to Colwill as like a center back pair, and then Fofana was on the touchline as like a pseudo right back / 3 in the back center. Like he was just on the touchline carrying the ball forward. I thought him and Colwill were actually very good today. Or not today, but in that game they were really good. Colwill starting to look like more the player we thought he would be. So I like what I'm seeing in terms of the center back pairing. And again, we're 3 games into the season under a new manager with a completely different philosophy than the previous one. So I don't want to overreact too much of the results. Of course, I'd like 3 points against Palace at home. But we're starting to see signs of positivity for me. Like, again, just the center back pairing. Palmer still looks good. Jackson, another goal. Could have won us the game late at the end, but I thought Henderson had a great game. He was my man of the match. And yeah, Palace, obviously they had no points coming into the game, but they're a good side. We saw how they finished under Glasner last year, and I think they've been a bit unlucky in terms of their results this year. So up and running for them. I think they're going to have a solid year, especially once Chalobah comes in and Lacroix. Yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on that game? Anything other than what I really said?
I mean, it's hard for us to get those local games in. I can talk to Mila about it, but I mean, we've all missed those 4:30 games, and I caught only like 30 minutes, so I'll let Mila speak on it if he wants, and then
real quick, I did want to just sneak in. I forgot to add, and again, it does not justify the result. I think a draw ended up being fair, but Will Hughes was on a yellow going into halftime and was a little shaky in the first half in general. So the commentators are saying, oh, he should probably get taken off, or they should sub him out for Decore. And then a few minutes into the second half, Palmer's about 20 yards out, completely gets clattered by Will Hughes from behind. Easiest yellow ever. And they didn't book him. Coach knew it right away, got him out of there. And, obviously that changes the game, but I think we'll probably talk about refs at some point. There's no agenda. They're just bad. You know what I mean? You have to live with that. So that one hurt, but at the same time, you're still up 1-0 against Palace at home. You should finish that game with 3 points. But just thought it was another talking point. That I would have loved to claim robbery, but yeah, Mila.
Well, I'm gonna back you a little bit on this one. I didn't watch the game, but I heard that Decore did play well when he came on.
He's great, by the way. Have him in an Everton save. He's good.
So you could claim a little robbery if you wanted to. I didn't get to watch it though. So Dylan you said you got to see like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I caught the end of it. For the only like main difference that I had in the game is with the like plethora of offensive talent that there is. There's got to be a game changer off the bench that can make something happen, right? Like you're not gonna have 8 wingers in your squad at all times unless they can make something happen, and that was the real takeaway that I had from it was like this is still a super young squad and there's mistakes there, but ultimately one of the younger guys is going to have to step up in these situations and get 3 points. And that's a part of the evolution, right? Like you were saying, third game in, like what are you really supposed to take from this? Other than a team that would be, title challengers would be picking up 3 points here. And that's just the situation of it. They're not, and that's fine. And this is just another growing pain in a long Premier League season. So that's kind of what I got from it.
And then, the subs, to be fair, Mila, I know you were going to speak on this a little bit. Felix came on, and I thought he looked really good in those half spaces. He was able to turn and find some space in the final third. End product lacking. Again, that's the name of the game. But I think that will come with time, being able to link up with these guys and having the feel for your teammates in those types of positions. But I thought Felix looked bright, and then Mudryk surprisingly did well. He's been low on confidence lately. He had a good performance. He's the one who played that ball over the top for Jackson at the very end of the game. He looked good. And I think for the time being, I know we talked about it a little bit last episode, Conference League, Cup games, that's where we could start him and really just go for it. Let's see what you got. And then in the Prem, he doesn't need that type of pressure right now, just where he's at. Come off the bench and give us something for 20 minutes. Run at tired legs. So I thought he did well in that. That's really all I had in terms of the subs. But yeah, Mila?
I didn't see any.
No, I know. Oh, so you had nothing. Okay, I thought you.
I literally have nothing on the game.
Okay. I thought you had something. I thought you had something.
No, sorry.
And Kunku came on and played right wing. That was weird. Every time he kind of had the ball, he was on the touchline on the right. He didn't really know what to do with it. Gusto came off injured. Great. That's probably a big talking point to come from this.
The prophecy.
Maybe it's just the position, not the player. I don't know, man. This sucks. But
he's making way for Reese.
No, well, Reese isn't apparently going to be ready for the Bournemouth game, so
he's not going to be ready.
No, I mean, I don't even want to. I think he shouldn't start a game till like January, to be honest with you.
And this is
Gusto's
5 weeks off though, and he was supposed to be ready for the start of the season. It's just it's.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
But we have a good right back in the academy, a Chempong. I'd like to see him get a run in the team. I also think Caicedo inverting and playing right back makes sense. He did it at Brighton. Maresca did it at the end of the last game.
That's probably what he'll go with. There's no shot he starts a youth player. That doesn't feel like the philosophy of.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
to chuck him into a Prem game. If it was a Conference League game, I'd get it. But
yeah, and he's put Disasi at right back already, and then inverted from the left side, and you have like we can do that with Vega and then Disasi right back. But I think it'd be nice to at least have him on the bench, given that that's your only other option at the position you can't afford. But I'd like to see him in the squad then. But yeah, starting an 18-year-old, just throwing him into the Wolves like that, probably unnecessary. But yeah, I guess Dylan, you have any other thoughts, like maybe on the game? Any questions that are arising for you?
No, I mean, you sent me a video earlier today of just the tactical overview of his squad and what he's looking to get, and I understood the numbers behind it, and I don't disagree that's the right or wrong way to go with this particular team. I just don't see them playing any other style when it matters. In like a game where like it kind of felt like they needed to go direct, and they were more focused about keeping the ball, if that made sense. Like,
yeah,
you should be going and winning the game, not looking for. It felt like there was almost a looking for the draw or being okay with the draw, not looking for the draw, being okay with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you said the last 30 minutes, I think in particular, would highlight that. When they had the ball, it's almost like there wasn't a sense of urgency. Like, oh, we need this goal. Like they were just kind of looking for the right pass. And again, I feel like that can even be attributed to like, what if coach doesn't want me to play this ball over the top? What if I lose minutes from this? Because it's again, there's talent in the squad competing for these minutes. They're finite compared to the number of players we have. So
yeah,
I think it could come down to that. Getting comfortable with like you're saying, when it's just time, where it's like, you know what, let's send the numbers forward, because the substitutions were very offensive. You took off a right back for a winger, the substitutions made sense, but how are we going to go for it? Like they just, every time it felt like we got stuck almost, and a player on the ball, an attacking player, would just, let me try something, and it just wouldn't come off. It's like a cross back post that just goes all the way through. trying to interchange in the half spaces, it gets taken off you. It just felt like they didn't even have an idea of how to get into the box at that point. So yeah, I think questions will be answered, but like you said, it's so early. We just need to see it. So yeah.
Not really anything to. That's kind of what we all got from it. It's just like it was a draw, and that's just we
Let's
move
see
to the
what they
next
got
game.
next.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who do you guys have next?
There were three. There's like three bigger games right after the break.
Why
Who
is
do
the
we have
United
next? We have Bournemouth next.
Okay,
We got Bournemouth.
thank you.
But
Okay.
no, do you guys? Oh, I'm looking in October. Sorry.
Yeah, nice.
Wrong thing. Late
Figure it out.
October is the big stretch of games for you guys.
Yeah. You got to beat tough teams to do well, right? So, Dawn will be looking at the fixture list. I mean, the past 2 years we've been double digits on the table, so I try not to look
most
at
of
the
the Prem's
table or
going
the
to be
fixture.
difficult this year. Most of the games are going to be difficult.
Yeah, bro. Palace is like a mid-table team. That's not an easy game. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Segue into City West Ham.
City.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any initial thoughts before I go on a tangent?
How about we let you cook and go from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun.
I just want to talk about 4 players. I think I'm leaving Rico off. We talk about him enough. He gets enough love. The main one I want to talk about first is Bernardo. He looked more involved on the ball in this game than he did the past couple games. And he looks a little, been telling you guys, spicier. But he's always aggressive and like hardworking, but it looks like he's got something to prove this year. I don't know why. It's not any different. Maybe he actually wants to stay this year, so he's got more pep in his step. The second player is Grealish. Grant before the game pissed me off.
He had a very good game. He was very good.
Yeah. I think he did really well to not take on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So he wasn't playing his game. He was receiving the ball and getting it out of his feet quick before Wan-Bissaka could even make a defensive action. So I think that kind of took him out of the game. It played against Wan-Bissaka's strong suits. So that matchup probably worked better than maybe if Doku was on that side or if Sabio was on that side. So that definitely helped. One of the bigger things is KDB. He looks really hungry. I think all the talk that he's kind of washed or finished, he's heard it. He just looks like super, super hungry for goals and assists. Like he's hit the post with wicked strikes, like 3 games this season. All 3
that little
games.
set piece they had too, where he tried to sneak that one near post. Nasty. Yeah.
Like Areola did so well to make that stop. I don't know how he did that, but overall his pass distribution was great, like it normally is. And with KDB, you're gonna have some wayward passes, but it's for the good of the creativity, so I'm all right with it. The last player is Holland. He looks fit, which
he's motivated. I mean, he's playing all summer.
Too.
He's definitely motivated.
Yeah, but he said he doesn't feel any of the aches and niggles that he has. So I don't know. I don't even know what to expect from him this season.
Yeah, 40 or 50 probably.
He's seen that already, and he said he was not feeling great when he did that. He's got back-to-back hat tricks. Like, I really don't know.
Yeah, a bit boring. Yeah.
Yeah, boring. Overall, I think we're playing good. We're moving the ball quick. The bigger questions to me are, like, how do you fit in someone like Foden when everyone's playing so well? Like, you're going to have to take away one of the wingers, maybe, but then you're playing Foden out of position. So the Foden KDB trade-off of minutes is going to be interesting for me. And then obviously Rodri coming back in. It's so hard to take Kova out the team right now. He's playing really, really good football, but it's Rodri. So someone's feelings hopefully don't get hurt, but someone's minutes definitely going to get cut. And that's basically all I have from that West Ham game. I didn't think they were too threatening outside of a couple counter chances. Kudus had one good chance that made me sweat a little bit, but outside of that, it was fine.
Yeah. I thought, yeah, Grealish was amazing. I did text you because I like watching like the Doku or Savio type, right? Like they get you off
Hmm.
your feet, etc. But when you I was watching particularly closely with him because it was like, okay, I was talking some smack. Like I have to analyze. And like you said, he was beating Wan-Bissaka to the punch. Like whether it was getting the ball back or even a good cross, like across the penalty area, and like could have had 1 or 2 assists that game. Like I thought he did very well for what he's being asked to do, and especially KDB in this role where it doesn't take as much on his legs, can kind of stay in those areas and just find passes, kind
Hmm.
of move around, form triangles with other guys in those areas. I thought, yeah, like you said, he looks very sharp. Yeah, not really too much else to say. Everyone in the team's really good. Like you said, it's going to be hard to find room for other good players. Dylan, you got anything else with City? I mean, yeah, Holland scored a hat trick. It's same old.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
It feels like he's kind of scoring for fun, which is fucked up in its own right. Like, don't do that. Make it look a little hard. Like that strike he got off where he got dip on it and power. That's stupid.
Yeah, bro, no need. Just took a touch. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll take some larger points from the game, and maybe we can segue this into the next match that I kind of wanted to talk about. But City have won 3 games, have made it look relatively easy, and they haven't had their 2 best players from last season. There's tactical fluidity. It feels like Pep's got these guys in shape and looking to get 5. Like this has never been done before. It's all brand new to the league and brand new to this team, and for some reason they still have the motor and the engine to keep going, which is respectable. I guess the only thing that I could say if we want to nitpick is look a little susceptible on the counter and to particularly like speedy wingers. But if you're putting up 3 goals plus a game, who cares? But with the first point, I'll leapfrog this into the next game, is the City didn't lose, haven't dropped points, have looked amazing with the players available, and they're the team that's been fighting with them for the last 2 seasons dropped points. At home. This is the difference between City and everybody else, in my opinion. It's just like these guys don't make mistakes. These early games matter, and Pep even made it sound like they don't matter by saying that this is just their preseason still, which is a crazy mentality in its own right. Like if you're picking up 9 points, like then what is the rest of the season going to look like? Like I'm not even sure anymore. I think this just kind of feels like this is a different City than the last couple of years, where it's like slow, kind of figuring it out. Maybe they drop a point here or there, which is what Arsenal did. This is just whole new territory. That this could be a record-breaking year for City, which pains me to say, but that's what it kind of feels like. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about that.
Yeah, we need Maresca's men need another year. That's all that is.
Well, Joey's having some fun, of course. I don't know what's going on out there, but yeah.
Did we want to touch on Arsenal?
You can't. I'm just gonna say you can't lose points this early in the season to a team that's which is way inferior to you at home.
Sure,
that can't happen. Not when you're trying to title contend, and all we've had to hear about is how they're in the lead to do it, and this is their year, and all the crap that I've had to hear, and then you drop points at home to Brighton.
Yep, the number 5 and 10 center back split like the Red Sea for that goal as well. Mm-hmm. Insane stuff.
The Rice sending off was soft.
Yeah, 100%.
I know I've seen City do it in the past. They get a guy get the red card, they still go on and win the game.
Game's a game. We came back. We were at home and had a man sent off against Brighton, and we beat them last year's Chelsea. Like we weren't good. So yeah, like you said, I said there was no agenda. Refs are just bad. And then, like you said too, City a man down probably still put them away. So, yeah, not too much else to say, I guess.
I've been talking about it all year that they are playing to not lose games, not to win them. They feel defensive.
That was the difference last year, though. They drew too many games, didn't they?
Well, they drew one too many. The one they celebrated against you guys, that they lost the league by 2 points. You know, it's fine margins at that level.
Yeah, so I think we all are in agreement that they are going to finish outside of UCL. So
Yep, 35 more weeks, boys.
Also, quick little shout out to my Tottenham prediction.
Oh, yeah.
It's on track.
Yeah, you must have had a good
Another
weekend.
loss.
Everyone was dropping points.
Of course.
That was great. Yeah.
Nah. All right, speaking of drop points, United lost 3-0. Let's say, okay, cool. Moving on. No.
Good stuff.
I don't even want to talk about it first. I'll let you guys talk about it, and then I
can talk about it a little bit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it, Mila.
I thought you guys looked okay in the first half. Okay, what I saw was that in tighter spaces, you guys kept the ball well. You moved the ball quickly and effectively. It looked when you decided to extend that past 15, 20 yards, that that pass was non-existent. Like, it couldn't be done. Casemiro, I mean, I watched the game with two United fans next to me, and I thought my TV was gonna have a remote through it by the end of his shift.
He's gonna have to learn a language that hasn't been invented yet for his next club. With all due respect, too, because he's a legend, but it's tough to watch.
I don't know. With him, the main thing with Casemiro's performance was that he wasn't that bad the first two games. This was a significant drop off from his other games. Two, he made Mainu look a lot worse this game because of that performance. So that just overall brought down the performance of the midfield. I just don't know if Ugarte is going to cover up for all that. It might make the job easier for Mainu, and I do think if Ugarte and Mainu can develop a connection of some sort, then the midfield can thrive somewhat. It doesn't seem like Casemiro and Mainu have a connection, to say. That was my quick thoughts. I think Liverpool's goals were just a lot of personal mistakes. So, on another day, like, you guys don't have those mistakes, the game could be 1-0 United, it could be 1-1 and draw. Like, I don't think necessarily performed in a way that warranted a 3-0 loss.
Yeah, just to kind of touch on that midfield point too. Obviously, Ugarte was a big signing for them. That was their main target all summer. They didn't look at anybody else in the midfield. I don't think it covers all the issues. I think, like you said, defensively, Ugarte has way more legs in him, so that'll definitely help Kabi on that side of the ball. I just think in terms of progressing the ball, Mainu, and again, he's so young and so talented that he can absolutely develop, but he's a lot more of a progressive ball carrier, I'd say, than a passer of that ball. So, like, especially with Ugarte, who kind of treats it like a bomb as well. I think you're going to have similar issues in terms of progressing the ball through the middle, but I think because that being the target, that's not the plan. You know what I mean? So I'll obviously let you talk on that a little more, Dylan. I just thought, yeah, Casemiro was so abysmal. They had to throw that poor kid in there for the second half. Had no business. That's just a horrible way to get introduced to the game. And yeah, United looked bright until they didn't for me. Like the first few minutes of the game, even after the disallowed goal, I was like, okay, it's a little back and forth, but like most United games under Ten Hag, it looks like a basketball game. And a team that's so clinical like that, you can't get away with it. And yeah, I mean, C.O.C could have had a few. So like the scoreline could have very well been a lot closer. But yeah, I'll give you the mic, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of summarized the game in a good light. They looked bright. I said that they were the better team before the first goal. I stand by that. I thought that they played well in possession. And then I thought that they sprung some chances. Now, the two biggest issues is, one, they're not finishing any chances. They have like one of the highest XGs in the league, and we have one goal or two goals now. And that's frustrating. I want to chalk it down to the Højlund being out there could definitely impact the game. But ultimately, the guys that are out there need to play better. Ten Hag's system is tactically not set up for Casemiro to shine. But that's also not his fault that he's got no one else that can play there. I think that if you asked, this is what happened last year, right? Is he said to everybody, I can't play the way that I want to play. And then everybody was like, well, why don't you just play the way you want to play? And he's like, I don't have the players. So then this year he starts playing the way he wants to play, but he's got Casemiro still. Casemiro didn't want to go. He's refusing to go. His girlfriend's posting his Champions League trophies. It's like, hey, you just don't have the legs to perform in the Premier League anymore, and that's okay. I think Ugarte is going to bring a different element to the team. It'll make Kobe a lot better. But I'm still worried that United is kind of stuck between two minds, and I think that's on Ten Hag to figure it out. Either you're going to be front foot pressing and you're going to be playing off the counter, or you can't do both. You can't be front pressing and play on the counter. It's just not a style that's proven to work in the Prem, and I don't think that it's going to work for this team in particular. There's too much offensive talent to do it. So just play in possession, win the ball back, give it to your ball carriers and Bruno, and let it work. And then I guess my second thing is Rashford was probably Man United's best player in that game, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff about him being bad yesterday. And there's been
it was bad. I think it was timid somewhat. There were times where he could taken on his man, but he had a good game overall.
It's frustrating for me because I've watched this. I mean, he's been my favorite player, like Dario was saying, like throughout his career, and it's either he's doing one thing right and the other thing wrong, or vice versa, where like somebody's always got some type of grievance towards him. I mean, playing a forward position myself, if I made half of the amount of runs that he made and didn't get the ball once, I'd probably punch my center midfielders in the neck. Like, it's a constant sprint fest for this guy. Yeah. And then every game I see, well, his attitude's shit. And it's like, well, yeah, if you were running 50 fucking sprints and you didn't get the ball, you'd probably be angry as well. It's frustrating because he's been United's best outlet so far this season too. And his floor is so much higher than a Garnacho that you just have to see it through. And I think that when Højlund comes back, the GAs will start piling up for those two, and people will kind of forget about this early woes. I want to believe in Marquez. I want to believe in the ability, and I think it's still there. And I think that people are too quick to react to all of the stuff that's happening. And I get it. Liverpool is a brutal loss as a United fan, but like what are we supposed to do? We can't go out there and make them run and do all this stuff. I just think that eventually they're going to figure this out. And I think that anybody that isn't willing to give them time doesn't understand the sport.
Yeah. I think, I'm sure you probably agree here. I can't believe they dropped Ahmad. That was absurd. That was insane. I think he's a locked-in starter for me on the right. And then I think Garnacho's best used as an impact sub. I think Rashford should be able to start consistently, given that's the competition. I just don't think there's much there in those wide areas. You have Antony and Ahmad, Garnacho, Rashford, right?
Yeah.
But I think going along to what you said with like we need our players to play our way. I thought Lissandro, who I think is a good player, he was pretty bad yesterday.
Yeah.
Not yesterday. Whenever that game was, I don't think he was good. I thought De Ligt looked good as a defender. And I think the combo will work in terms of you have one kind of brute defender and one good on the ball. I like kind of having that yin and yang in the back line. So De Ligt got some criticisms for his performance. I don't think he's particularly elite on the ball, but I think that pairing makes sense philosophically. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it in the squad. You know what I mean? Like Bruno, he's the guy in the team, but the attacking front line just doesn't really go, oh, it's just not that good on paper. You know what I mean? They didn't score very many goals last year. I thought Xerxes was actually decent, by the way.
Yeah, and he missed two big chances. Like that's the difference, though, right? Like,
no, for sure. I'm just talking about his general performance. Like I thought he showed like things that he can add.
No, 100%. And he should be the starting striker until Højlund is back. There should never be a false nine in the system. It doesn't work.
Two completely different profiles, which I think is great for the team. You know what I mean? To have a Xerxes and a Højlund.
Yep. I honestly think that there's a point in this season where both of them are going to play together. And I think the United is going to go to a 3-back. And there's
Bruno right wing.
No, I think he's going to play underneath. I think that they're just going to play both of the fullback, the same fullbacks now, but just a little bit higher up the pitch.
Yeah,
because honestly, it's kind of what it feels like they're progressing towards, anyways. I think Ten Hag did that a little bit at Ajax, anyway. So I'm down to just try stuff. Let's see if it works, and if it doesn't, then they're going to can them. So
Yeah. I hope they keep him in the job.
If they don't, then whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then we didn't really talk too much on Liverpool. I feel like they look really good, man. Like I think they kind of hired Arne Slot kind of under the radar. There wasn't much of like a charade like there was with us. They just kind of got that done before the last season even ended, and I think they clearly did their due diligence. They looked at their current squad and said, "Who's a coach that plays in a style where this is really going to work?" And I think his handling of Szoboszlai, taking away those defensive responsibilities, having a pivot behind him and letting him play as a 10, just kind of pull strings. I thought he was really good. Gravenberch looks very good as well. Like barely got time at Bayern Munich, didn't play much last year. Bang, he's in there running the show. I thought he's really good. Salah scheduled goal at Old Trafford. Luis Diaz putting chances away. They look really good, man. They look really good. I had him in third in my prediction. I know you guys weren't happy with that. Got some flack for that, but just know, got that one right.
Yeah,
3
when they
games
lose
in, of
4
course.
games in January, we'll talk about it again.
No, that's why I said. That's why I said I got it right 3 games in.
I don't know. They beat Ipswich
Yeah,
2-0.
handled.
They beat Brentford 2-0.
Handled. I think it's impressive they've kept 3 clean sheets. To be fair, yeah, weak competition, sure.
I mean, Ipswich, the lapse first, I don't know. And he fucking was a monster. He had to get constant yanked from the game.
Yeah.
Brentford, need to say more.
We've lost to them a few times. I won't say anything about that club.
Yee. And like we were just talking about, there were times that United could have easily won that game.
Mhm.
They just happened to take their chance as well. So
Okay.
I don't know. Their next game's Nottingham. And in their next game after that in the Prem is Bournemouth, and then you follow that with Wolves. Their only test they really have is October 5th, which is Palace.
Oh.
And then the game after that is Chelsea. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's a
haven't seen
good.
it
I mean,
yet.
to be fair, totally fair. They're doing the business though, right? They're doing all that's being asked of them.
It's
So
early. That's where the preseason thing also comes in. You can win games in the preseason.
Yeah.
So because
Doesn't
your
mean
guy
anything.
said it's the preseason for everything.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's erase these results, boys.
I will give them credit and the new manager credit. It feels like they have 2 styles of play, which has not been the case under Klopp. It used to be direct counterattacks and just playing like a mini version of Real Madrid, and now they're holding the ball. They didn't do it against United, but that's the kind of not cool part, but that's the evolution of their team where now they can go against teams like Brentford and go up 1-0 and hold the ball and hold possession and go out and see wins, but then they can go into a tough place to play, know that they're going up a team that's fragile, wait for them to make the mistake and hit them on the counter, and it's just as productive as it was before. And having those 2 styles of play are really going to be effective for them, I think, moving into the latter half of the year. I think obviously my biggest issue with them is like how healthy are they going to stay? They only signed 1 player. So there's still warning signs with them, but I think that they've done well. Winning 3 out of 3 is good for them.
Derailed by January.
I still think it too. All right. I'm tired of talking about United. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you sure you don't want to go a few more minutes?
No, I'm good. I got nothing else to say about them.
No, Spurs are shit. Okay.
Alrighty, now we're gonna segue into our transfer tier list and go with a combined choice here from all 3 of us. We'll start alphabetically and we'll just go all the way through. Arsenal.
Okay, I want to put in what are they doing, but I see some logic behind it. I'd probably go.
Oh, I was thinking B or C.
Are you crazy?
I wasn't thinking that high.
Not
B.
I mean,
they
for
didn't
me,
address any needs.
Sure. I think we have to think both ways. Arsenal historically can't sell players. They sold Smith Rowe for 32 and Kedia for 30, Ramsdale 21, 22. So I think you do need to consider that. Are we not thinking?
I mean, you can, but in terms of the transfer window, I think they are in this constant title race with us right now. And we just went and got Gundo, who we've been trying to replace.
Yeah,
they went and got a backup defender. They went and got Mikel Merino, whatever. Unfortunately for them, we don't even know if he's going to be good for 3 months almost. Because he freaking fractured his shoulder. So that's
He needs to
gone.
hold the hand of their £100 million midfielder.
Their other pickup, technically this season, was Raya, who was already at the club. They didn't address anything that they needed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'd put him below F, but I think that's a little
Okay,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Because
So,
I do think
make
Calafiori is a good player. So
I think
I'll
in
give
the
him
context of where they're at in the table, that's fair. I guess I'm just trying to give them some credit to build up some stock so I can talk more
D
shit
is
in a
me
week.
giving them credit.
Perfect. Yeah.
But
Dylan,
if
what were
you
you thinking?
yeah.
I think Sterling was actually good business. I think
I
he
forgot
stinks.
about Sterling.
I think he stinks.
I don't see the fit on their team.
They need a left winger.
Oh, bro, that's fucking terrible.
Oh, I think he stinks, bro. It's gonna be great.
I'm dropping it to F. If he's gonna play left wing, I'm dropping it to F. Like,
we're
fuck
paying
that.
over half of his wages. So I think in terms of the business and addressing
So
a need,
where's the logic?
Yes, I think he stinks, but
Bro,
I think
at the left wing, no striker. Like, I don't understand the logic behind that move. I forgot about it. I'm dropping them, to my opinion, to F.
Okay.
They've had a terrible window.
All right, Dylan. I'm cool with having him in at least D.
I was gonna say C. I don't think it's the worst transfer window. But I don't think it's the best. It just feels average.
They picked up Sterling for the sake of picking up Sterling.
I think
like, they wanted to complete the meme.
I don't know.
Like,
I've been saying they don't have depth at the winger
I think in
position,
the
and this is depth.
It's
Who's not
They didn't really address it too much though. They let.
I don't see his skills are not like utilized in this squad whatsoever.
And
There's
they
no
lost
point in
4
getting him.
attackers.
This is the same reason with him going to Chelsea. There was no point in him going to Chelsea, especially with Haaland coming into City. He would have thrived at City if he stayed 1 more year, 2 more years, and like now he's just going to another club with no fucking striker.
Yeah, I mean,
but
they also
and they
lost.
should know that Mikel Arteta, like, maybe he figures it out and gets him going again. That's the only
Number
reason
30.
I can see it makes sense.
Yeah,
I still feel like the to say that the exits that they got were decent. I mean, you said Smith Rowe was their record breaker.
almost. Yeah, 32,
just under it, and then they got 21 for a dude that wasn't playing for him. Nketiah again wasn't playing for him. They got like decent money for these guys, and then they addressed some depth. It just feels like a C. Like I don't have any good or bad feelings about it in the general scope of things. Like if we are to narrow it down on the fact that they are title contenders, it makes them a D. But I'm taking a broader scope over the entirety of the Premier League.
I don't know. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be genuinely disappointed with the window.
I think D is Arsenal fair given the context.
They think the Sterling is going to be the next coming of God.
Well, they're delusional.
I got bad news.
All right, well, I got no problem chucking him in D if you guys have no problem.
D, because I think too, like one more thing on the depth, you lose Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira out on loan, Nketiah, Smith Rowe. That's 4 attackers, and you bringing 1 in, and that was with a pretty good injury record. If they have 1 or 2 injuries, get ready to learn 38 games of Sterling. Like that's not good.
I mean, they already have an injury.
Right. So, I think D's fair given the context. But yeah. Good on the outgoings, boys.
All right. Let's go to Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Nice.
They brought
Kepa.
in
What are they doing?
Lloyd Kelly. Oh no, they didn't.
Kepa.
I lied.
They brought in Kepa.
Brought in Hugison. Wait, where's Kepa? Oh, this is just transfers.
They brought him in on loan.
It's just transfers.
They got rid of Solanke. Huge. Brought in pretty much 2 people to replace him with Evan Bullison. I don't know.
Evan Nielsen, yeah.
And then Unal.
Unal and
Unal's actually
were
pretty.
Last year.
Were they? Did they just get where they loaned?
Yeah,
Unal was there. Yeah,
they were both on loan.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are the 2 guys that are going to replace him at the fees that they got. I don't know anything about the guy from Porto, so I can't speak on him.
He's got 3 games, 0 goals. So
Portuguese league's terrifying. Bar City, I think they rip everybody off.
I played 2 matches, 137 minutes. We'll see.
I mean, they play a pretty fluid system, though. I mean, I think you'll see Semenyo up there, but I think they did well given the amount of time they had to replace him, and I still think they will have more time to replace him.
Look, they got 65 for Solanke.
No, it was. I think that's good.
That makes it at least a C for me, if not higher.
I think I want him in B. You know.
In B, I don't got a problem with that.
Yeah.
I
For the
don't think
sale
that
of
makes him any
Solanke?
worse, and they got a bunch of
Just-
money.
Yeah,
I feel like they would
okay.
want to keep him, but I think they did well to replace him as well as you can, given what the 9 market looks like. Maybe they could have got Osimhen on loan, but
And they respected his wishes of wanting to leave, and that's cool in
Yeah.
itself because that'll bring in players.
we'll take
in the future.
65.
I don't
they'll
get a
take
problem with
65.
B with them. I don't think we're gonna have a ton of
Oh
guys in this or teams
Yeah.
in this range where they're gonna be any hires.
no, they had a
Yeah.
good window. Kepa being brought in really makes me want to lower it a bit. I think he's so awful, but
Well, they got rid of
What are
Neto,
you
so
gonna-
I guess they had to.
yeah,
It's a weird swap.
Ugh.
All right, on to
Hey, I don't
13.
want to talk about Kepa.
Yeah, nobody does.
Sweet.
Villa.
At least B, I think.
Yeah.
Making all the money
mean-
back on Diaby. That's
They
pretty big.
they set up their left back for the next couple years. He can learn from Digne.
Yep. Luis was a tough sale. They had to.
Luis was a tough one, but I mean,
Onana's a better player, isn't he?
Yeah, younger
Yeah.
as well.
Philogene is a good pickup for the future if they can get him going.
Really like the Matson pickup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And then
underrated piece of
Chels.
business was Barkley. After the season,
getting,
he had a Luton.
I agree.
That's
That
that's
That was
a
a free,
good prem
a free
guy.
pickup, right?
6 million.
Yeah,
I think.
something
sick.
cheap.
It doesn't even pop up on it. Damn, they got good money for Diaby.
The Philogene as well. Yeah.
This
I
is
think
at
Villa
least
might have
D.
had an A. Mill.
I wouldn't
think
have a
that's
problem
fair.
with that.
Cameron Archer for 17.
Yeah, it
Oh,
has to be an A for
And
me.
they didn't lose Duran.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't
They didn't-
remind me of that.
They didn't lose him, and that's important because he's already got 2 goals and 2 winners.
Oh, Coutinho's loan ended at
That's-
Al Duhail. Yeah. He was on their books.
What's
Didn't
the
know
next team?
Brentford.
I mean,
I like the Carvalho pickup.
Yeah.
I don't know Vandenberg at all.
yeah. And then this
Look.
guy they picked up as well.
Ivan Toney.
Igor
left.
Tiago. Okay, so they picked up a replacement for Tony.
And he's
I'm
out
honestly
until
only
January.
looking at the transfers.
This for me is a D, because you lose Tony, you brought him on preseason, and you sold him to. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to let him go, and it not better his career. It doesn't better their team, and then to have a striker. They brought in a striker and he got hurt immediately. They could have held on to Tony until the winter if they really wanted to and shipped him off then. They don't have a
That would have
striker.
been scary without an extension. Yeah, I mean, I think they work out. That's the team that plays a lot of systems. I think they throw Mbuemo up there. Wisa, Shada. I know he's supposed to have a big year for them. He's a young up and coming player for them. I think they're honestly sorted in the attacking department. We were saying this a lot about Brentford last year. Oh, the Tony, they might get relegated. Like they were decent without Tony. I think, yeah, the guy was he hurt when they signed him, or he got hurt as soon as they.
Yeah, I think it was that. I think he got hurt as they signed him. Or
Okay, yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate, though. Can you really? You put it down to
they
them?
knew
I
about him
think-
being injured the entire saga of Tony coming and going.
Oh, okay. They did the medical. They understood. Yeah, that's weird. Knowing that your striker's going to go for over a year and then not. Yeah, that's a little. I would throw him in C. I think you get the money you needed out of Tony. You get the Raya money that comes in. Obviously, that's not their window. They didn't do that this year. But I think
They
they're
got
building
less
a
than
foundation. They'll be able to
Solanke for
spend more
Tony.
next year.
They got
I mean,
less
Tony
than
had 4 goals last year.
Yeah, but still, in this
Dude,
striker market with the English guy.
No, you can't. do
Solanke
that.
was.
Nobody wants Tony. Also, Tony's
Yeah.
got baggage apparently. Like it just nobody
Yeah,
wants.
the
to
whole
make that
gambling
bid for
thing,
him.
like that
Right.
adds to it versus Solanke.
Well,
He
Solanke
also
is a
coming off
PR
20
merchant.
goals. Yeah, he is.
People love him. He's an
Coming off
anime
20 goals.
god.
So then, what do you
Chels.
want to give them?
I think.
I have him
I
at
mean,
C.
I'm not really. Yes, he's fine. Honestly,
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
decent. Nothing crazy for me.
nothing that moved the needle. But
All right, so then let's move to Brighton.
I think we can be pretty quick with this one. They brought in Kadioglu.
Lost Pascal Gross
Ruder,
and
They
Gilmore.
brought O'Reilly, Ruder, yeah,
Minta,
Minta.
Oifa.
Like they brought in some good names, and
They spent
they had
what?
a shit ton of outgoings.
Yeah, they spend a ton of money.
But they're consistently.
You're welcome.
I'm fine with either A or B with them. They're consistently every window having phenomenal business.
Yeah, I was so wrong about putting him in 15th. I was just emotional there. It's not looking good for me.
I'm good with B. I don't think they got a star player or
Top of
anything,
B.
but
No, I agree. Top of B. Move them above Bournemouth.
Yeah. Top of B. They had a sound window. They're spending their Caicedo money. You're welcome.
Chelsea.
Can you make another tier above A, please? No, I'm only kidding. I would like to. I think it's a C for me, and the reason I think it's a C primarily it's not even the whole Osimhen thing. I never wanted Osimhen on the wages that he was asking for, 120 million fee. Like I thought that would have been horrific. I was team Durant. About 40 million, fit in the wage structure. Not mad at all bringing in another 9. I'm more upset that we weren't able to get as many outgoings. I think we did decent, in terms of Matson, Gallagher, Hall, Hutchinson, Angelo. We just sold to Saudi for a profit. But I think there's still guys like, again, the Sterling deal. We're paying half his wages to play for Arsenal. Chilwell's still somewhere in London. Don't know where. Those are your two biggest earners, right? So I think they fluffed it a bit in terms of the outgoings. Incomings, I don't really have a problem with any of them. Tosin, I thought was good business. Sancho, I think for what we're paying, great shout. Get some help on the left wing, especially with Sterling being gone. Guiu looked cool in preseason. He's 18 years old. Not too much there. I think Renato Vega got his first call up for Portugal. I think that
you cannot go through all of them one by one. We're gonna be here for fucking 3 hours. We did good business.
We bought young players who were supposed to be good. Some of them are already panning out. I'm
okay.
Yeah, I think Neto was smooth, but
I think C. Yeah,
it did.
I think everything you did with a purpose, for the most part.
I just don't.
Except
the only one that was not without purpose though.
Yes, get rid of Gallagher. Fair play.
Exactly. Like the only one that really didn't need to happen, but Sancho? It was kind of still cool. I was gonna say, Sancho or Neto.
Yeah, you throw away a 29-year-old bad winger for a 24-year-old down in the dumps winger, and now see if that one works. Because we know Sterling's tapped.
The only issue with that is you guys are paying his wages for this year, and so combined, that's like 100K between the two of them. And I'm not even sure if Sancho's gonna play regularly. So that's a lot of money. It's a weird one.
Yeah,
it's just a weird one.
Yeah, we got that Conference League money, baby.
Yeah, I guess so. And that American
for when we play
money.
All right. Let's talk about
Palace.
The big boys next.
Yeah, Palace, baby.
For selling Olise, yeah,
they brought in Daichi Kamada.
They did have a good window, didn't they?
I do like
Trap
on the low. I didn't even realize they got Ismail Assar.
Yeah, he's nice too.
And so they had Lacroix and Nketiah.
Yep.
And they got rid of Edouard to make room for Nketiah.
Ayew.
I got A.
Make another tier because they got rid of Ayew.
Because they got rid of Ayew. I don't have any
Everton?
other points. Really good point.
5.9 mil. They got rid of Johnstone for 11.8.
Everton.
Everton. F.
What did they do?
I don't know. I almost want to
sold Onana.
I almost want to throw it in. What are they doing?
They're going to get relegated. They're preparing to get relegated.
Yeah, they got rid of Mopé, so leave them in F.
They're preparing to get relegated.
They got rid of Mopé. You have to give them that.
Yeah, I guess
Look at I don't know.
I don't know.
They made good money on Onana as well.
Yeah, but
they can't spend money. They're just in such a horrific state financially.
I was gonna say they just didn't address any needs. They got rid of some guys. They just did nothing.
They have no money. They can't address anything.
Yeah, so they're just in a shit
spot. Pray. Yep, Deitch and Pray.
I don't know why Southampton's there.
Yeah, it's fine.
I know. That's whatever.
I gotta scroll down to see what they did. I don't even know what Southampton did.
Southampton? Well, they brought in Ugochukwu on loan, class.
Ramsdale,
Lallana.
Archer.
It's a pretty good window. We can probably
Hardwood Bellis hanging on to him's good. Brereton Diaz, he's looked solid so far.
They brought in some Prem talent to mix in with
they got Cornet.
Yeah, they did.
So
yeah, I like that actually.
I would go.
Yeah.
I mean, I want
Lallana
to
on a
almost say C because they're still going to get relegated.
Yeah. Sekumara went to
It's not
Strasbourg.
their fault, bro.
It's no. Well, I mean, they could
Ugachukwu
do
will
something
not
to help
allow
I
them.
mean, it
relegation.
kind of is.
They could totally do something to help themselves.
Yeah.
I think Ramsdale was smart.
Yeah, it's good.
Harwood Bellis sticking around.
Harwood Bellis.
Archer, yeah, no. Yeah, B or C is fair. But
I'm
sure.
leaning more towards C. Yeah.
C's good with me.
Y'all won. Ugachukwu brings it to an A for me, but I'll allow it.
All right, let's go into Fulham.
Mm.
I thought they had a fun little window, didn't they?
No, they didn't make money. They spent well though.
Burge, Anderson, Smith Rowe, like those are good. Sessignon on a free.
It's a decent replacement for Polinia, and then they got better offensively, which was their biggest issue. I'd say borderline B.
Oh, for sure a B for me.
Also, hold on. They got 17.8 million out of Birmingham.
Yeah, that's absurd.
That's ridiculous.
Ooh, they did lose Willian.
And Tim Ream.
And they lost Cordova Reed.
They lost the guy that's on your squad.
Ebane Boat on loan.
On a free.
They did lose Tosin. Yeah. Unlucky boys. I'd give them a B.
It's not an A for me.
I thought they brought in. What? What'd you say?
It's not an A for me because I don't like that they lost both of those center backs and didn't really get a replacement. I'd
just give them a C again.
I have them in.
I don't think.
I'm
I think
in the
they
middle,
did well
so
to replace Polinia.
I'll let you guys hash this out.
I don't know.
I think they did well to replace Polinia.
No, they do have. They have a striker.
That's a good point.
Who is it?
Muniz. Are we trusting him?
He was really good at the end of last season.
No, he was. He was, but can we trust that?
No, but now they have Smith Rowe now, so they should be better.
I'll let it be your guys' call.
Yeah.
I think C, but
I still put him at B, but I think dropping him to C because of not having a striker, it's a fair point. But I think they did enough to get a B.
They're either top end of C
I think they
or bottom end of B.
Yeah. I think top end C because they're late.
You kind of need goals.
I think Stanfield brings it up a bit for me because that was a good sale, like a really good sale.
I'm down for C because I just don't like the fact
top
that they lost.
C. We can move it around. We can move it around if we have to.
Yeah.
Dude, they spent some money.
Yeah, Mari, Delap.
They got Ogbene. Nice.
Jacob Greaves was a phenomenal pickup. I just want to say that.
Delap.
He's looked really good.
Jack Clark can play. Jack Clark, bro, they're building a little team over there, to be honest. Even if they get relegated.
It's good youth players. Again, they're just going to... It feels like Southampton.
I don't think they're going to get relegated.
Even if they do, most of these guys will stick around. I think most of them stick around. They come right back up. The parachute money helps them out. I think this is a really good window. They spent 126 million. That is insane.
I'm feeling C.
I'm looking at their top guys alone, and I'd put him B.
Yeah, B's cool, but we can always move them around. I think if anything, I might try and sneak them into A.
Whoa!
I just think
have them middle.
Given where they are, right? What else could you really do? I think they did very well.
They'll stick them ahead of
above
Bournemouth.
Yeah, ahead of Bournemouth, below Brighton, in my opinion.
This next one might be the first. I don't know what
are they
doing.
What are they doing? Yeah. Skip for 23. Oh my goodness.
Are
Fair
you
play
okay
to Tottenham
with...
for getting that fee?
I'm okay with what are they doing because I think
keeping Fatawu permanently is good. That was only really particularly good incoming I'm seeing.
If they're getting out of this FFP thing or whatever, and they knew that they had a chance of getting out of this and they didn't spend money, that's a disaster. That's a disaster.
No, I think if they knew they were gonna get hit with the FFP and decided not to spend, it would have been unsmart.
But are they just looking to bounce up and down?
Possibly.
No, I mean I see what you're saying. Money wise, I understand not spending. If you're not gonna get the point deduction, then there's a chance they do stay up. We thought that they were gonna get automatic going down because we thought they were going to get 10 points deducted. So to be fair to them, they could compete a little bit.
They
I think Buonanote's a
had
good signing on loan.
They spent
That
51
was a good
million
pickup.
net over what they sold. So they spent money. They just didn't get anyone of like real value.
I mean, but you also have to think like you have to convince someone to go there. Skip and Buonanote were a good pick. Buonanote's been pretty decent for them.
Yeah, he's
so
on
I
loan
don't-
though. Yeah.
I didn't love anything about
IU is
it.
just so confusing. I have no idea why they
agree.
brought in IU. Making Fatawu permanent's good. I think he's a good player for them. But yeah, I think it's totally valid. I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, all right.
We doing back-to-backs?
Oh, they got Edouard. I don't see the reason though.
Edward, yeah, it doesn't help.
It helped with Palace, but that's about it.
Right, yeah, Edward and IU.
Back-to-back?
Pool
Back-to-back?
can hold
F,
that. Yeah,
F. I think Chiesa was very good business. But
okay, fair. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
give them F. Yeah.
I think it's a really good move for them in terms of they need to fill one of those attacking spots, and like that's a guy who's willing to play in all three spots.
Just for the price that they got him, but what are they doing in the sense that like why didn't you go pick up your guy after?
Yeah, why are you
Zubimendi?
replacing Allison in his prime? I don't love that. I also don't love.
I'm not counting that as this season either. That's not going on their books.
I don't know.
That's a next season transfer.
If this was on the table for what 35, 40 they got, why wasn't Chelsea in on this, bro? Like we spent 20 million on an unproven keeper from that league. We could have spent.
It's not like it's not a signing for this year, so it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't matter.
I understand,
He's not
but
going this year.
I just don't know why we weren't in on that. I thought Marmar, that's a good move, but when
Probably
you have Allison,
because you like in the sense that like this was a good business for them because they did it ahead of time. Maybe the other teams like Chelsea were gonna wait till next summer to get it done. Liverpool kind of just eliminated that competition by getting his contract done now. So
they wouldn't have let us get away with that.
That's why I think we can give him somewhat of a grade. Like they got Chiesa on a good deal, and the goalkeeper that they just got doesn't even go on their books for this year. So basically, they brought in Chiesa for 12.5.
Well, they have to pay the fee. They have to pay the fee. They're paying the fee, but yeah, he's not coming in.
They have to pay the fee?
Well, because they're loaning him back to Valencia.
Oh, there's a loan.
Yeah,
back.
it's not a
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
But, yeah, in terms of, you probably should have done something else. Like I don't know, address the midfield.
If I can bring up a counterpoint, one, new manager. They brought in one new signing for the new manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, they're supposed to be contending as well. They have Champions League football. That just doesn't. This doesn't
Who
seem
said
like
they're
a team
supposed to be contending though? I don't.
That's
who
Liverpool's
has that
standard.
expectation?
They have the same players that they did when they were contending with City. They had a year. They've had a year drop off. Now they're supposed to be. Yeah. They brought in guys last year. This should be their their bounce back season. And you still got.
You have a few guys from the spine, but it's a lot. There's a lot of new faces.
Are we just? All these guys are on the last years of their deals.
No, I would be upset too if I was a fan of Liverpool in terms of the business done. Like we should have done more.
We're still giving them an F. I just don't. I don't know. I think
it's not a full-on
because they did good enough business.
Unless they're re-signing those three guys, I just don't understand this window because they're gonna all leave on freeze, and then where does that leave them next year? I'm just not sure. It just doesn't.
Big budget. Yeah.
But who are they replacing those guys with? Like that's just they're gonna get that production out of guys that they're spending to get. I'm just not sure.
Not necessarily. It's gonna have to build into that. I don't think you're gonna have that immediate replacement for them. I see what you're saying. Like maybe they should have brought in the replacement this year, but
they should have got more business done, which is why they're in an F.
Why would you? Yeah. It just feels like they're taking a future step back when they should be trying to go forward. And that's why I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
No. We can move to City.
Hey, I mean they replaced Gundogan and then Savio for 20 million with the money laundering scheme. Well done. We're trying to get on that wave as well here at Chelsea. But
you are the money laundering scheme.
Yeah, we bought a team in France. But yeah, all jokes aside, Savio's absolutely a bargain given the winger market. I hate to bring it up, but Antony was almost 100 million.
Yeah.
Right? So to get him for that price and then replace Gundo with Gundo,
I'd be like higher Bs or lower As.
I think Alvarez 95 for Alvarez is insane.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like the outgoings were phenomenal. We did a really good job on that. I do want. I wish we picked up someone that can replace Holland. I don't know if I necessarily like going back to the false nine when we are trying to change our identity somewhat. Like Pep does this every year, so why go back to what we did before? It's already been figured out. That's why he changes every year. So for them to go back to the false nine and just be like, whatever. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Like I don't like that. That's why I'd lower it a bit.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I guess from the outside perspective, it's just like they'll figure it out. Like they're so good, but
Yeah,
replacing...
we will say that until like some of these guys are missing wide open goals in the games that we need to win. There's fucking Southampton and we lose 2-1 or something. Like I don't know. I can see it happening, but
no, I see it. We'll see. I just think getting 95 million for Alvarez.
No, of course, yeah, it's our biggest ever sale. Like I don't have any qualms with that, but I do think we could have gotten someone cheap. Kyogo Furuhashi was an option, cheap, wanted to come. He'd take the minutes that we give him. Someone like David probably could have been convinced to come. That's cheap. It checks all the boxes for Pep, in my opinion. And then, like, we didn't need a big name at all. There was talks of Tony, like Evan Ferguson. None of these guys are going to come. They don't need that.
Yeah, you're not playing behind Holland.
So, I don't know. And then we got that guy from West Ham on basically a free, like a $2 million fee. I don't know. I don't know why we didn't replace the striker with anyone. And we sold Delap earlier. Like maybe we didn't know we were gonna get rid of Alvarez, and that's why Delap went. But if we were gonna get rid of Alvarez, and we knew that was happening, I don't understand the Delap sale. So I think, lower A, top of B.
I want to give it an A just because you guys only spent 25 million and brought in 2 players that are going to be rotation pieces, and I don't know if many other teams did that. The outgoings carry the rating for me, as like what you guys are saying, and then obviously it's unfortunate that you got rid of Alvarez but had no true replacement for him, and maybe that's just because the deal came up and it was too hard to refuse, right? And there wasn't enough time within the remaining. This in comparison to the other teams that we've got on here, I think that it's still an A for me, and I didn't really rate Palace's as highly, so it's above Palace for me, but I'm good with mid to lower A.
I'm fine with that right there, yeah. United.
Yeah. What are we thinking? I have him in B. I think this is a really... You can even argue an A for this very easily. I mean, United, also a team that struggles with outgoings, got a lot of players gone, which is very important. I know that's been a big talking point for you guys. So to be able to get rid of all these players, and then I think Ugarte, if anything, is questionable. Like PSG just paid that fee for him, and they're already trying to get rid of him. But he's still a young, talented, up-and-coming player. He's got potential, so I won't hack that too much. And then I think Yoro, phenomenal. Delict, good player. Xerxes, good player. Mazraoui, great business. You could definitely argue an A. I would put it in a...
I would go B as well. I think you guys brought in good players, got rid of some people in the locker room that you needed to, and then some young guys for some petty cash. But just looking at the fees of some of these, I think it was a hefty the amount spent.
You got to back the manager?
No, of course. I'm not saying they had a bad transfer window because of that. That's just the only reason I drop it from A to B. Like higher.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I have it in B as well.
I think like the light for 45 is a little bit of a stretch for me. I know he's worth a lot, but I don't see him worth that much. But I guess it is just the market.
Yeah, I mean, we bought the Sassy for the same price.
Yeah, he's 25.
And then you get rid of... Yeah, that's true. You get rid of some other people for good prices too. So I guess overall, like I said, I don't think it was a bad...
Solid B for me.
Yeah, I think either like high Bs or low As.
I mean, I'll just counterpoint it and we can stick it in high B, but I thought it was an A just because for 4 or 5 windows now, I've asked, can we get rid of the guys that aren't helping the team? They're not playing, they're not doing anything. Got rid of Greenwood, got a sell-on fee, got rid of Bissaka, which isn't in the manager's plans. brought in Maserati, and then they got rid of a bunch of guys that don't improve the squad rotation. Like, these guys aren't playing, and they got a bunch of money for them, and they also got off of some ridiculous wages. Getting
That's
off
true.
of Sancho was ridiculous. Varane was on ridiculous wages. Van de Beek, they got something for him. I don't even know how, because he was awful. Martial was on ridiculous
Just get rid of the
wages.
wages.
The outgoings make this so much higher for me, because all the outgoings as well also had future sell-ons or buybacks. So there's future money to be made in other windows on guys leaving potentially.
Okay.
And then
that's fair enough to bump it up to an A then. I didn't
Low
know
A.
that, honestly.
I'll give you that. Given the scope of how United have struggled to offload players as well, and then I'll give that a low A for sure.
The floor of the team
They're
was
showing
raised.
a direction.
The floor of the team was raised. Like,
They're showing a direction.
None of those guys that we listed off that they brought in aren't like starting or fringe caliber starting players. Like, those guys could all play minutes.
Yeah.
Which is not
For
business that they've done in the past. And Euro is just a completely different signing than what United's done in the past. That's a Varane signing or a Casemiro signing that they put towards the future player, which is I'm done
I like
to go
that show. Put him in
low
A.
A.
You win.
Thanks. I've had to feel that off of my Twitter hate for a while, so
yeah, you don't get 3 points this week, but you get an A in the transfer tier list.
Fucking get in. That's all I ask for.
Newcastle D.
Whoa.
And it's unfair to them, but they can't spend their money. They can't spend their money, man.
Well, Tonali's like a new
It's just
signing.
not right.
So that's what I'm saying. They didn't need to make a signing in the midfield. They just got one of the best midfielders in the league back. And they got 35 mil for Minte, who wasn't going to play.
I feel like he would have been really good for them.
For Elliot Anderson.
No, but they had to do that. They couldn't spend the money.
I know. They just made 70, almost 80 mil off depth.
That's why it's like, it's not fair to put him low, but like Lewis Hall, who again, I think is amazing. I think he's a very talented player. He doesn't even play still. They're starting Lloyd Kelly over him. Like, he can't get minutes. It's worrying me a bit. And yeah, like Minte, like they're struggling in those wide areas. I think like bar Gordon for sure. And then Harvey Barnes, like Almiron and Jacob Murphy, like, do Newcastle fans want that for another year when you're competing for European spot? So I would be a little frustrated.
Yeah. This is a worse window than Arsenal for me. Like, they didn't bring in anybody that's like really.
Well, you guys just said they can't spend their money, so they just made decent cash back, and they can't spend. So I don't know how you could put that at a D.
But if they're looking to contend, like, that's the scope I'm looking at. Like,
but you guys just said they're not allowed to do that.
Yes,
so they're working within their parameters. So like, if that's the case, then I think at least a C, because they're working within those limitations.
I just think, you're right. Like, they have no choice. They cannot spend their money. But I think you still have to look at it like, oh, there's like still holes here. Like, we could have really used a good wide player. Can't sign one.
You can't sign one, and if you do try to sign one, you're gonna get over.
They had to sell one.
Yeah,
I think Minte would have gotten into that team.
This window only netting 8 million. Like, I don't know. I don't really know.
8?
Yeah. Net 8.
What the fuck?
Because they brought in 33 on.
Who the hell is William Osula? Okay.
Yeah, Hall was a loan with obligation, so they spent that. Why did they spend that much on a keeper?
I wanted
they didn't spend anything on a keeper. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they did.
Where?
Val, the guy from
the Greek Don from Forest.
Spent 23.
They spent 23 million on him.
Where do you? Oh.
Well, yeah, bro. Put it in D, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah,
spend that on a winger.
They had Nick Pope, and they spent it on a.
Oh yeah, they failed to get Gahey. They failed to get Alanga. Yeah,
they put out a ridiculous tag on Alanga. I would have been stoked about that. 50 million for a guy that can't even get complete minutes at Forest, dude. Come on.
Respect Alanga, bro.
He's not it.
He's their second best wide player.
Okay. I saw him fail at United, and the Newcastle think that he's going to be some star player for him. Like,
yeah, he's not going to get out of Hudson-Odoi's shadow as well. Good point.
No. All right, Forest. Wow,
I mean, every year it's like, what are they doing?
They are the mini
Every
version of Chelsea, where they just bring in a ridiculous number of people that I don't remember half of them being on that team.
I just don't understand the reason for it.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
make any
think for that
sense.
alone, we can put them in. What are they doing?
What are
Because
they
this
doing?
is 3
Yeah.
years now.
Every
This is
year
3
They
years
picked up
now.
a Galaxy target. They picked up a Galaxy target. They picked up
Elliot Anderson, decent.
Alex Moreno.
Spent a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
And like
it's a
I
mess.
don't really understand Christian
Ward-Prowse and
Fletcher from
Moreno
DC
on loan.
United.
Yeah.
James Ward-Prowse was probably
No, it's
their
good
best
business,
pickup.
but it's just such forest
Why are
business. Like, oh,
but
no.
they're spending so much on these chances, and then, like, they're oversaturating the team.
keep
It's like, this
doing
is
it as well.
insane. Yeah.
It's a
You
mess.
think you'd learn after the first year that you fuck it up.
Yeah, every year they're just nuts. Spurs, C or D for me. Solanke's a good one, but
Solanke is a good pickup.
Timo on loan sums up that window for me, where it's like your first move was to bring him back.
I like the Odegaard signing though.
Yeah,
Forgot
I
about
really
that.
like the Archie Gray starting. That signing
yes,
is
that's it. Yeah.
These are good play. I think C's fair for them because these are good signings. Like I like Archie Gray, Bergvall. Like I think those are really good players, but they've got a team where they can compete right now, and they signed one player that's going to get into the lineup. So now you just have a bunch of good signings, but they're not going to help you this year. So for me, C, but those are good players.
I guess the counterpoint for B would be that we talked about how they got good money for Skip. They got rid of Emerson Royal because he's terrible. I don't know how they got money for him. And they got rid of Lo Celso too. So like they got rid of some deadwood. They brought in a top caliber 9.
He's the man.
I really don't love the money on that. I'm okay with C, like high end C.
Yeah, because I think again a team like Tottenham where it's like, oh, we've got a good manager here. Like he's building something. Like let's back him. You got to get players that'll impact the team right now. And I think Basuma and Sarr can absolutely be improved upon.
Yeah,
and I think Tottenham fans would probably say that as well, that they would have preferred to sign another midfielder, another wide player. Because Kulusevski, I mean, I think the jury's out on him for me, right? Like, they can improve in those wide areas. The Sun can't be playing out wide right now. It's 2024. So,
all right,
yeah.
Let's move to West Ham. I have it as an A. I just think that was a really good window for them. A lot of really good, impactful new signings.
Fair. I think they got Todibo, they got Fulkrug, they got Somerville,
Kilman.
They have AWB.
Wan-Bissaka,
Yeah.
West Foddering.
Hey, I'd put him above City, honestly.
Carlos Soler on loan is interesting. Again, risk-free.
I'm going to be honest, that might be
I think he's
the best window.
Yeah.
In terms of the players they
on
brought
paper,
in.
for sure.
If they're looking to start competing for
Wolves.
Champions League, that's the best window for me. I don't love the Fulkrug one because I just don't think he's going to end up playing over. I just don't see him playing over.
Bro, they do this every year. They sign a striker to replace Antonio, and Antonio just ends up back in the lineup, bro. It happens every year.
The rest of the guys, though, great. And then
Damn. I'm going. After looking at it just now, I'm going to go B.
Oh, are you basing it off of B because they got 100 million for 2 guys?
No, I like some of the guys that they brought in.
Okay, I have no idea who they brought in.
Bastian Mapueyu is a good center back from
I know you got to mention the boy
Carlos Forbes.
He's nice.
Formerly
I like him.
known as Carlos Borges. Baller.
He's
what else did they bring in? They brought
in a goalie to replace the worst goalie in the league. That's good.
Oh, they brought in the Brazilian, Andre.
Yeah, Andres from Fluminense. I don't know. I think
I think B's very high.
Yeah, let's go see. But okay, Neto and Hillman out for 104 million.
Yeah,
is a lot
that's
of money.
good business.
Given a team that's in bad, they weren't in a great financial situation. So like, given what they could do, C work.
Well, I think we were generous to a bunch of teams, so putting them in C is not.
Oh, so we have to get harsh here now. Is that what you're saying?
No. I think the list is fine. We just
list is good.
thought that there were.
We're just good people. We're nice guys. Just nice dude.
Well, that is our
hideous twins in F. Good lord.
Yeah, gross. Well, yeah, that's our
Scouses.
tier list for the 24 summer window. You guys have any concluding thoughts that you want to go into the break with, or you good to wrap it up?
Esteval scored again. That was cool. Yeah, got nothing. Just got to push some more agendas.
Yeah, hey, I respect it. All right, well, that'll do it for Clash of Clubs episode 4. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal. Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent. Potentially life-changing. That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.